I'm kind of sweating. It's pretty hot in the UK. I don't know why I'm drinking this hot coffee. So I just finished my first year of university 2 days ago, so I apologize that I didn't post a video last week. I had a neuroscience exam that was worth 100% of my mark and I was terrified. So I've been studying non-stop, like 12 hours a day, no time to edit my videos. So I'm really sorry. I'm sure you guys understand. Just the word neuroscience, 100% of mark, anxiety. I feel I did okay though, I hope. So I thought that today would be really fun to like sit down and give advice to anyone that's maybe considering going to school, especially if you're a mature student like me. If you haven't watched me before, my name is Megan. I am 26 years old and I school here in the UK for zoology. So fingers crossed one day I can work with animals. But yeah, it was like a very... what's the word? Very nerve-wracking, especially if you've taken quite a long gap like myself. Most people take a year gap. I took 7. Actually, that's not true. I took like 5 because I did upgrade classes. So a 5-year gap, and it was a very nerve-wracking experience. So if I can shed some light, like things that I really wish I would have known, ease your mind, especially if you're a mature student. And I thought it'd just be fun to like give a review, seeing as you guys have been there throughout like my entire journey. You were there before I even knew I wanted to be a zoologist. Well, before I knew I wanted to pursue it. You were there with me when I was volunteering. You were there with me when I was opening my letters, and you were there with me like throughout this whole experience. So I thought like someone would really enjoy listening to this. The first thing that I wish I would have known is UK university is a lot different from Canada. Here in the UK, and I think in Europe in general, they just specialize really early. I'm taking zoology. I'm just straight up taking a biology degree, specializing in zoology straight away. Like that's it. I'm already specializing. Whereas in Canada, if I wanted to do that exact same thing, I would need to do a 4-year bachelor's degree in biology. I think biology or like just general science. And then I would specialize in zoology and get my master's. But here I could just get a bachelor of zoology, and then if I want to, which I think I'm considering, I think I'm gonna go for it if my grades are good enough, master's degree in zoology. Saying that though, it's not easy. Like, it's not just animal stuff. In the first year, for instance, that I just did, is apparently the hardest year because everyone, no matter what you're taking, if you're in the school of biology, we all take the same classes and it's very intense. So the first semester, for instance, it was very hard. But what's really good about that is you can actually change later. Because if someone's like, hey, I don't want to do zoology anymore and I want to do biochemistry, you can just easily switch because we all took the same classes. Also, your marks show up on the degree. I don't know if this is the same in Canada and the States. I think it may be the same as like a GPA, but there's like a first degree, which is like 70% marks and up. That's like the best you can get. There's a 2-1 degree, I think it's what it's called, a 2-2, and then there's one below that. So to like really try, you can't just like go in there, whatever grade you get the same degree as everyone else. Like you actually get a different degree, so you have to like really try. I feel like I'm getting a cold. A stuffy nose isn't COVID, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Number 2, one thing that I really wish that I would have known, this is probably the most important one for me, for a mature student, is you're gonna feel old. So I'm 26. When I started, I was 25. And for some reason, I just went in feeling like I wasn't going to feel different. But I felt very different, especially when I would go to the labs. I was the oldest person there minus the teachers. Everyone else was 18. And then the PhD students were like 22, 23 or 24, whatever. I didn't think I was old. And then I was like, oh my God, there's an 8-year difference between me and like everyone else. However, it doesn't really matter, but I just want to warn you, like in the beginning you're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, like I am a lot older, but it doesn't really matter. And I found people like still treated me the same. There's gonna be a bunch of mature students. Like, you're not the only one that's older and going. Like, there's gonna be a bunch of people. I just obviously haven't met them yet because of COVID, and yeah, but I'm sure there's like a bunch of people my age there. So even though you're gonna notice, you're gonna feel a little bit older, like, don't fret about it. No one actually cares about it. Number 3, one thing that I really wish that I knew, not just for this first year, but just in general, is you don't have to be smart for university. You don't have to be smart for school. Take it from me, okay? I know it sounds like I'm putting myself down, but like, I have never considered myself a science person. I've always loved biology. It was one of my favorite classes, and math. I know it sounds weird, but I really like math. But other than that though, I've never seen myself as a science person, and I actually for a very long time thought I wasn't smart enough to go to school. Like, just because I felt you had to be this freaking rocket scientist, and it's just not like that. Like, obviously I can't speak for every other degree because I'm sure like lawyers and doctors and astrophysicists, like, you have to be like smart as. Speaking just from what I've experienced so far, who knows, my opinion may change next year, but it really is down to determination, how passionate you are about the subject, your work ethic, and just how much time you put into studying and trying to retain that information. That's why in November I got really burnt out. I don't know if I really talked about it. I think I did in a vlog, but I got really burnt out because I just didn't really understand how much work had to go into learning, because it's so intense and you only have 2 or 3 months to learn it, then you get tested on it, and like, that's it. So I use Anki, which is a free study thing, not sponsored. I feel like that's the only reason why I've actually learned anything. It's because like whenever I do a lecture, I take like the notes and I'll put it in Anki flashcards, and I'll add like pictures from the internet, and dude, it's like flashcards on steroids, and you actually learn. Like, I just had my neuroscience thing and it's all thanks to Anki. Like, for real, like Anki saved my life. I would pay 50 to 100 pounds for that app because it's that good. Number 4, if you are scared to go to university because of your experience in high school, it is not the same, or at least here in the UK it is not the same. Maybe it's because I haven't been to school in a long time and now I really appreciate school, but I don't know, there's just something about the way they teach you in university that makes me, someone who hated high school, love school. Like, the difference between university and high school is like, you're working towards something that you want to do with your life. Like, you know, whether you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist, even if you don't take all the classes just on dentistry, you know you're working towards it, so you're more passionate about it. Number 5, it is easier to get in as a mature student. So when I was looking at the requirements to get into zoology, every single school that I was looking at, you pretty much had to get mostly A's. My report card in high school, I got like 1A, 1C, and then the rest were B's. I was really nervous when I was applying because I just genuinely didn't think I was gonna get in. So I called a university that I was thinking about applying to, and I talked to them about my grades, and they were telling me that if you have a really good personal statement, which I don't know if we do it in Canada, but here in the UK, like, you have to write like a little letter to the admissions people about yourself, like why you're applying, what you want to do with it, why you're passionate about the topic. So he was saying like to put like a lot of effort into that, because that's a factor in accepting you. If you are a mature student, actually if you're just a student, just someone wanting to apply to school, volunteer somewhere, because you get that experience. You can put that on your personal statement, and as well as in my case, I actually got a reference from the place I was volunteering at, which was the reptile rescue, which I'm so happy that they did that for me. So those two things that I did, the personal statement and the volunteering, I'm pretty sure got me in, because my grades sure as hell did not. And I got accepted to 4 out of the 5 schools that I applied to. Save your money, okay? Obviously, I don't really feel like I need to explain why saving money is important, but money saving will save you a lot of stress. There are a couple things that you can do when you're a university student that will save you really good money. So the first one is Uni Days. Uni Days is this app in the UK where you can literally save buying clothes, going to the hair salon, buying furniture, buying makeup, like pretty much anything that you can think of, you more than likely can get discounts with Uni Days. Another thing is, don't buy your student books. That was one thing that I was so worried about, but thank goodness COVID hit and they made like all these books accessible online, so I didn't have to buy any of my uni books. Like, I just got them all online. It's a little bit annoying and it kind of strains your eyes a little bit, you know, constantly being on your computer, but you save so much money. Fuck your eyes, you know. Just fuck it. It's gonna have to deal with it. It has to get used to it. Something that I wish I would have known is you're gonna always discover yourself. It's actually kind of shocking to me. Like, I already mentioned it before, like how I ended up liking things that I didn't like in high school. But something that was really interesting was I took neuroscience and ethology, which is animal behavior. Thought that I was going to absolutely love animal behavior and dread neuroscience. But I ended up loving neuroscience so much and dreading the animal behavior that if I wasn't doing zoology, I would be going into neuroscience. Why am I doing this with my hands? The reason why I didn't like the animal behavior one was because it ended up being like very opinionated rather than facts. Like neuroscience, there's no opinion in neuroscience, you know, like you literally are learning about the brain. Obviously, there's opinions on different regions and what they do, but pretty much everyone kind of agrees on the same things, I think. Or at least that's what I got from my first class, whereas ethology is very opinion-based. It was just really sad because I was really looking forward to that class, because a few months before I started my second semester, I started listening to the audiobook, Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? And it's by like this ethologist. He's done like amazing work. And I got like a lot of information from him, and like I started researching on my own from different ethologists. And it was just such a shame to like go to that class and have them have a very different opinion. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it. I still like the subject though. And the last thing is, life is too short, okay? If you decide one day after working in your job for 30 years and you find out that you love something and you want to pursue it and you need to go to school for it, just go. I know it may be like a really nerve-wracking thing, especially like if you are older and you have maybe a family, kids, full-time job, like you're kind of thinking to yourself like, how the hell do I get to here if I'm all the way over here? And you know, it's not going to be an easy journey, you know? Like for me, my circumstances made it a little bit easier for me to transition back to school as an adult. I know for some people it may be a little bit more difficult, and the only advice I have for that is just talk to the school. So whichever school you're really interested in applying to, talk to them, explain your situation, see what resources you have at your disposal. Even if it takes you a long time, if you're working towards your goals, like you're gonna feel so happy. Like it literally took me 2 years or something before I even could start school, because I had so many things I had to do before I could actually go. Just I'm really glad that I decided to go and like not let any stigma or anything hold me back, because there is no stigma, no one cares. Do you, and try to just do the best you can. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video there. I don't have any more tips, but I hope that this helped just, you know, anyone that's thinking about going to school or starting school next year. I hope that this has helped you in some way. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like my content, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye!